Welcome along, everybody. We're back for bronze action. We are here in Australia for the first round of bronze season 10. and how time has flown. Then we're back to basics. Then back to a new game. Back to learning and all sorts of other stuffs. I can't read the comment because I've cracked my phone. It's time, says Mushroom then. And welcome along then to the stream then. Welcome along to Bronze Season 10, Round 1 then. The get-go then of the new season as well then. We'll quickly run through the grid then. We've got everybody in the lobby, so hopefully we can get an early start then. I can go to bed. Bed nice and early as well then. But we'll start off then with the Red Bull team then. DeCanco and Ashton Army then in the Red Bull outfit then. Looking forward to seeing how they're going to fare then in the new era of F1 25 as well. Then Winnie and Smithy Almighty lining up then in the Ferrari. Then the friends from outside of racing are now friends in the Ferrari cockpits. But who's going to be the favoured driver then? Who's going to be the Lewis Hamilton? Who is going to be the Charles Leclerc? Well, we've got Winnie as Leclerc, but Smithy is Hamilton at the moment. But yes, anyway. Moving on then, Mercedes, with Marsky coming back down from silver then, and Goddard's then stepping into a full-time seat then for the Silver Arrows team, and that's going to be pretty exciting stuff indeed then for Toto Wolff. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that as well then for that lineup then. San then taking to the McLaren then, as well as Jamie. Unfortunately, Jamie then the only one not racing tonight then of the full-time grid then, but he's going to be going to be taking his place in his ballot then in the McLaren tonight then. Hopefully one round then before Jamie gets himself back in the car. But that is the McLaren lineup then for Season 10 for Bronze. Rosa Sky then has taken a full-time seat as well then, same as Goddard's then stepping in after a few reserve appearances last season, and into the Kick Sauber then for the Rosa Sky. You Mabro partners up then in the Kick Sauber as well then for the Bortoletto and Hulkenberg team, and we'll see who's going to be Bortoletto, who's going to be Hulkenberg as well then as the season progresses then, but hopefully they do much better than both their counterparts there. Serious Mushroom then, no hash for Mushroom then. He is in the Alpine team alongside Mr. Elite. Then that's a very cool and consistent lineup then indeed then for the Alpine outfit as well. Then looking brilliant in pink as well, I would imagine. I'm not sure, but there we go then. Hungry Stars then into the Racing Bull then, alongside Jake the Slayer, who stays in the Racing Bull from last season as well then. So that's looking good indeed. Very racy indeed then for the Racing Bull outfit then as well. Liam D then into the Haas then, alongside Vintage then, who has just about got himself in the car then, thankfully tonight then. Hopefully he can take a good result then here in Australia as well then, in just a moment's time as well then. Rocket Lee in the Aston Martin then, alongside Reflection, the two R's in the Aston Martin. I think that's going to be a pretty formidable lineup indeed, and maybe one to watch then for a potential drivers champion and potential constructors champion as well then. I might have said too much there, but there we go then. And finally, last but not least, it is Stephen Anthony then, or Dadbod88 then in the Williams, alongside Dynamo Dan then, who just missed out on promotion last season by only a couple of points then to Jinner then, who finished P3 in the end last season. But Dynamo Dan looking to try and charge on to the championship potentially here tonight. We'll find out then how all 20 drivers are going to fare then in just a jiffy, as I need to get this off the screen. There we go, that's it. Right then, we can get ourselves into the race then, hopefully in just a moment's time then. Just waiting for the admins to give themselves a heads up and we can get going then. Frilly Pink, says Mushroom then, so maybe he's wearing his tutu for tonight's race as well, then that would be fantastic. Yo, says Jake the Slayer as well then. Go Dadbot, says Stephen Anthony as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed. And yeah, that is it. Then that is the lineup then for Bronze Season 10. A pretty formidable lineup indeed as well then, I have to say. And I think pretty much every team is quite evenly matched as well there. So there could be some lots of chopping and changing as we go through this season as well then. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to develop. I'm already out of breath before I've even started the qualifying commentary. But there we go. There's nothing new there, to be fair. But well done indeed then. Well done indeed. Oh, I'm saying well done to myself then for doing a great job doing that. But we've still got an hour or so to go then of the actions to come here in Bronze for the opening round of the season as well. They're looking forward to seeing how Australia is going to shake up the order then as well. Then as we go into the new era, of course, on F1 25, and there might be some that have jumped up the order. There might be some that are struggling. Then we'll have to wait and see. But of course, as the season develops, then everyone will get onto a bit more of a level playing field. I would imagine. I would hope so anyway, at least. But there we go then. As there we are, then the session timer is ticking down to start off the first round of Bronze Season 10. Then here we are in Australia, of all places. Then will it be a wet race, as we've seen? Or we didn't see too much of a wet race yesterday in silver, but we had a bit of a wet race in gold, didn't we, as well then, which was a fantastic season opener as well then for ALR. The same for silver as well then, to be fair. Everyone finishing the race as well. Hopefully bronze can continue that action as well then, and get everybody over the checkered line at the end of lap 29 as well here. But first we've got to do the qualifying to set the grid here in Australia, and hopefully we'll get there very soon then. We're just looking at the beautiful scenery around the lake, and there's the car park they converted into a corner. And then we can get ourselves started then momentarily then for the first round of Bronze Season 10. And this is going to be fantastic stuff indeed, as just waiting for all drivers to get themselves sorted into the garages then as well. And yeah, looking forward to this one. It's going to be absolutely brilliant stuff indeed. Who is your favourite then, or who is a candidate, on your opinion that is, for the Drivers' Championship then? Who do you think is going to be the best constructor in Bronze Season 10 then? It could be, well, it's quite difficult to predict. It's very early to predict as well then, but we'll have to wait and see as we go into the garages, then into the pit lane, then to start off the first qualifying of the season for bronze as well then. And of course, a nice leisurely start to qualifying, but we did get it a bit early, didn't we? So there we go then. As everyone into the garages, into the cars, and of course there's one reserve tonight. Then that's Ballant in place of Jamie then for the McLaren team. Then unfortunately, Ballant will not be able to score then for the constructor he is racing for tonight. Then, but of course everybody else, everybody else then will be scoring their points then for themselves and the team as well in the drivers and constructors standings respectively. Right. Then we have got some action out on track already. I think then there's a racing bull racing out of the pit lane. Who is it going to be? It's one of Styles or Jake the Slayer, but I can't tell. It's Jake the Slayer then out on track then for the first lap then of qualifying, and I need to get the game audio on because I've turned it off. Here we are. Yes, we can hear it. Good stuff indeed. Let me know if audio levels need changing as well then, because it's the first time I'm doing this properly. Of course, we did do the practice session, didn't we, as well then? So oh dear, I've knocked the tower off. Goodness me, what am I doing? Right then, yeah. Let me know if the audio levels need adjusting in the comment section as well then, because we will potentially have to sort that out. But so far so good, I believe. But there we are then. Lucas Percy said you're a little bit quiet then. Well, that's fantastic, because I can't do anything about that. I don't think. No, I can't. Oh well, we'll just have to deal with it then, unfortunately. But yes, that's great stuff indeed. I will try and fix that. I don't know how I can fix that now. Let's see if I can do it. No, don't do that. Yeah, we'll just turn the volume up. Turn your volume up then, and will that be all right? Good stuff. As we go into the first out lap, the first flying lap then for Jake the Slayer then here in qualifying. Of course it's in qualifying, but it's in Bronze Season 10 then for the Racing Bull driver, then the first man to take us round the circuit then in action as well then on a flying lap then. No rain, says Mushroom as well, then fantastic news. And that's very good news indeed then for the bronze drivers. That is then not so much good news for me, because I would have preferred to race in the dry as well then, but I could not. But here comes Slayer then heading into turn 3, then going through the car park now as well, then flying through sector 1 so far, then into turn 4 now negotiating through turn 5. Then can he keep it nice and steady? Yes, he can. Very well done indeed. And that's good stuff. As we go into sector 2, then of course purple in the first sector. He is the first man to set a time through sector 1 so far, I believe, just about. Then there's a Haas coming through as well then, but here comes Jake the Slayer then heading down the back straight towards the terrible chicane, or terrifying chicane, whichever one you want to call it. But heading into turns 10 and 11 now as well, then negotiating that perfectly as well then for Jake the Slayer, then heading down towards sector 3. And let's see what it's going to be then from the Racing Bull driver, then the first man to set a time on the board tonight then, as we go through the final couple of corners and making sure you don't go too wide through there then, and heading into the penultimate corner now as well. Evening lads then from Vintage as well then. Here we go, says Vintage as well. I'll put the mic right close to my mouth. There we go then. Now you can hear all sorts of horrible things. Then here comes Jake the Slayer then, an 18-1 then to set ourselves onto the timing sheets then for the first man, on the first driver I should say then, in this qualifying session, the first of the season as well then. Liam is coming back into the pit lane, unfortunately for Liam. So he has abandoned his time and coming back into the box then for the Haas team. Then here comes Umadbro. Then Umadbro in the kicks out this season. Let's see what he can do then up to the line. Then it's an 18-7. Puts himself P2, of course, second of the time runners. Then here comes the McLaren. And it's Sam. Then Sam does a 17-5. Puts himself on pole position then for the time being. Of course, only 3 drivers have set a time just yet. 16-6 from Reflection, though, knocks him down a peg then as we go through into the first turn for Reflection. Then taking that pole position away. Then Goddard has done an 18-7 as well. Then puts himself P5 on the medium compound tyres. Then interesting stuff indeed then from Goddard as well. Then soft compound tyres though on Marvsky, his teammate. Then let's see what Marvsky can do. Then up to the light, it's P3, a 17-7 then, and up into the second row of the grid. Then good stuff indeed from the Mercedes. Evening Young Man says Serious Mushroom, then Howdy Mushroom as well then from Vintage. Good stuff indeed. Mr. Elite then up to P4 with a 17-7 as well then. Quite a few close-knit groups there, but Reflection storming off out in front, looking very comfortable indeed then in the Aston Martin outfit as well then. So far so good then. Jake the Slayer then down to P5 with Mr. Elite and Marvsky jumping ahead then into the second row of the grid. Very good stuff indeed. I think that's it for the current hot laps, that is. So we're going to have to stay on board with who's next. I think it's going to be Decanco, isn't it? Yes, we'll stay on board then with the Red Bull and Decanco, then switching from the where did he go from? I think the McLaren last season, then into the Red Bulls this season. Now we see how he's going to fare then as we head in towards turn 1 then for his first outing in qualifying. Then there's an Alpine going a bit slowly there. We need to get him out the way, get out the way. And here comes Decanco. He's flying down towards turn 3. Then the Alpine did get out of the way. Winnie has retired in the pit. He's left the session then as Winnie. Then what's happened to Winnie? He's having some sort of issue then, I think, as he's not got himself out of the garage at all then has Winnie. Then he's retired in the pits there. That could be a bit of a problem then for the Ferrari driver of Winnie then, as not sure if Smithy was communicating with him or telling him to retire from the pit lane there as well, then to get himself a rival out of qualifying. But there we go then. Here comes Decanco. Then there's a Haas. There's a Haas. And has the Haas spotted him just yet then? Oh my goodness me, that was late and dollar late and a dollar short, or whatever Martin Brundle would say then, as we go through the chicane. Then very nicely done indeed from Decanco, then flying into sector 3. Now let's see what he can do as we head into the long right, well, not long right-hander, a right-hander. This is a longer right-hander as we head into the last couple of quarters then of the lap then to complete the first outing then for Decanco in season 10. And let's see what it's going to be on the timing sheet. It's been a pretty good lap indeed, it looks like, from my opinion, from my point of view as well. Then Real Ashton has jumped up 18-2 for Real Ashton into P6. His teammate then does a 17-9, puts himself P5. Very good stuff indeed. And Jake the Slayer is in a Red Bull sandwich, and fantastic. Must be very tasty indeed as well. Here comes Goddard then. Goddard to finish off a second outing then. Medium compound tyres then for Goddard. I don't think he's coming back into the pits actually. I think he's just finishing off a second lap here, and he has improved by half a second I should say. Then goodness me. And 18-3 then for Goddard, then keeps himself P8 for the time being, that is, but of course has improved by almost half a second. Then Rosa Sky's had an issue heading into sector 3, trying to get that car back on the track then, out of the gravel trap. But he has done so indeed, and all safe and sound now. But unfortunately, that lap is ruined. I should say. We've had somebody jump at the order. Stephen Anthony then back into the grid. Then back onto the grid, I should say. Then into the Williams car. Then 17-7 as well. Then for the Williams driver. Then P5 for the time being. We've got day late and a dollar short there, says Slayer as well then. First league race on manual gears as well then. My goodness me, that is going to be fun, especially around Australia as well then. That is going to be very interesting stuff indeed. What have we got then? Who have we got next? I think it's going to be Dynamo Dan then heading into the last couple of corners then for the Williams outfit then. Of course, switching from the Red Bull to the Williams this time. Wrong way around, other way around I should say then, from Decanco. Here he is then. He's got a nice little toe then from that Red Bull in front of him as well. I think then down this main straight up to the line. It's P2 with a 16-9 then for the Dynamo Dan then. Good stuff indeed. Onto the front row of the grid then, but still quite a stretch away from Reflection, who is looking to go for it again then in the Aston Martin. Brilliant stuff. Mr. Elite then is P5. Stephen Anthony down to P6. Then Decanco P7 with a 17-9 as well. Then just outside of the 17s is the Mushroom. Then when he's joined back the session, then Mushrooms with an 18-1 then into P8 for the time being as well. Then good stuff indeed. Vintage back out on track. Then Ballot as well. Then the slowest of the time runners at the moment. Then but there's 5 time runners, or 6 technically with Winnie, who have yet to set a time on the board then for the time being. And too many words, too many sentences. It's saying time in that one as well then, so I'll stop saying that now. Enough time in this session to go, I should say. Right then, San is back out on track, then heading through into the car park section, then into the McLaren team, then of course jumping from Ferrari last season. Can he get himself a bit of a championship fortune as well, then of course into that fantastic McLaren that it is now. I'm not sure it's going to correlate then into the game, that is, but it's not realistic performance, I should say, but we'll have to wait and see if San can handle it like a Piastri or a Norris, maybe probably a Piastri actually, rather than a Norris, but never mind. Decanco is improved to a 17.4, puts himself P3, then onto the second row of the grid, then fantastic stuff indeed. Then here comes San flying down towards sector 3 now as well. There's an Alpine, I think, just getting out of the way potentially in the near future as we head into sector 3. Then there is that Alpine, and I think it might be Mushroom, then no, it's not Mushroom, it's his teammate Mr. Lee getting out of the way as here comes San, then heading into the penultimate corner now then for the second outing for the McLaren driver. Then he has abandoned his time then at the penultimate corner, unfortunately. Then that is him done and dusted then on that attempt as Reflection goes faster still with a 16.660. Too many sixes in that one, but there we go then. And that's good stuff indeed. Quality of the stream isn't great either. Yeah, to be honest, oh well. So I might as well just give up now then, to be fair. Yeah, it seems alright on my phone, but yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll pick up, then it's just probably because my laptop's going to be overheating, and if it blows up then there will be no stream at all then, which is fantastic. Rosa Sky then heading into turn 3 now. Let's see what Rosa can do then into the car park chicane, I should say then, and now into the depths of sector 2 in just a moment. They're heading through into sector 2 now, so going purple in sector 1, and that is looking promising stuff indeed then for Rosa Sky, who was very close indeed of challenging for some podiums and wins then on his reserve appearances last season, in the few that he did then as well. Then now he's got a full-time seat, then can he try and replicate that, and can he go even further as well, then getting himself some good results then on the board then for the Kick Sauber team, then heading through the chicane, very nicely done indeed in purple again then in sector 2 as we head in towards sector 3 now. And I'm looking at the old sector times, that's why. So yeah, so it's probably just me. Yeah, I can't get the sector times right then. The sector 3 time starts at the chicane, doesn't it? And I'm thinking it starts after the chicane. Here comes Rosa Sky then up to the line then for his first attempt on the board, and it's going to be pole position then on the first attempt, a 16.4, and that is fantastic stuff indeed then. Brilliant stuff indeed from Rosa Sky then on his first proper lap as well. Then of course he had a bit of a mishap on his first lap. It's his second full lap, that is, but he has put himself a fantastic P1 then as it stands. Mr. Elite up into P4, then Dynamo down to P3. Reflection then is not going to be too happy about that. Then he thought he had P1 sewn up, didn't he? Rocket Lee though has something to say about it as well. Then 16.3 for Rocket Lee, and my goodness me, Aston Martin are firing. Then they've got a bit of a Kick Sauber counterpart as well then in P2 of Rosa Sky then, but that is looking pretty good stuff indeed as well for the as a reflection for Silver Glory. Jake the Slayer then, well, he's got Rosa Sky and Rocket Lee ahead of him now as well. Then Rocket Lee of course is Reflection's teammate, and we did say Aston Martin might have a bit of a hand on the Constructors Trophy potentially at the beginning of this one, but yes, that is looking pretty formidable stuff indeed. Smithy Almighty's on track as well, then looking to get his first time on the board. Then unfortunately only one driver then who's not going to get a time on the board is Winnie then, who had that technical issue in the pit lane as well there. So let's see what we can do then into the chicane. We go then for Smithy Almighty then on his first attempt in the Ferrari, then back in the Ferrari, I should say, after quite a few seasons with the Ferrari team actually in bronze. Unfortunately, always the bridesmaid, never the bride then for Smithy in terms of getting himself into the top 3 of the Drivers' Championship then. He has won a few Constructors titles as well though, to be fair. Of course, the one last season then with the Kick Sauber outfit as well then, as we go through then onto the main straight then to finish off the first time for Smithy Almighty. What's it going to be? It's a 17.1, puts himself P6 on the third row of the grid then, which isn't too bad for a first lap, I would say. So that's pretty good stuff indeed. And there we go then. That's that done and dusted then. Sand back out on track then. Soft compound tyres on that McLaren. Then here comes the Mushroom then, looking to improve on an 18-1 then as it stands then for the Alpine driver. Then heading into that final corner then. Let's see what he can do then on the power, and away he goes then to the checkered line. Checkered line, I should say. It's a 17-9 then. Puts himself, he stays P13, I should say. Goodness me. But he does improve on his time as well then. That's good stuff indeed from Serious Mushroom then. Real Ashton heading through the car park chicane as Goddard has had a bit of an issue somewhere then, because he's lost an end plate then on that right hand side of the Mercedes car then. Goodness me. Fantastic, we've got a yellow flag. So there we are then. Right, we've got, I think, Smithy coming back to the pit lane then. Same for Sand's on a lap then. Let's see what Sand can do then, heading into the final couple of corners. Into the final corner now then for the McLaren. Then let's see what it's going to be up to the line then for the new McLaren driver, I should say. Then up to P8, then he improves by 0.2 of a second, then puts himself ahead of Takanko then with a 17.293, which is identical to Marvsky's time. But because Marvsky's done it first, he gets the position. There we go. That's good stuff. Let's have a look. I can't see. Yeah, it looks all right on my phone then for the stream quality, but yeah, it's probably because everything in my room, including myself, is overheating at the moment. So yeah, once it's cooled down, then it'll be all right. But I'm not sure that's going to be coming anytime soon, then, unfortunately. But in the meantime, I will invest in a new laptop probably. And that will be another few grand. But there we go then. Here comes Jake the Slayer then, heading up to the line then, unfortunately running out of battery there. But here he comes. It's a 17.4, puts himself P9. And that is almost a 0.7 of a second improvement on his previous time then. And puts himself right into the middle of the top 10 as well. Then fantastic stuff indeed as well. From Mushrooms retired then in the pit then. I think he's done and dusted in qualifying then. P14 at best then. Same for Real Ashton as well. P15 at best for Real Ashton then. So unfortunately a few drivers then are calling it a day in qualifying. Then Stephen Anthony is not, then he's going to be charging through the first chicane. Then here comes Umabro as well. They're looking to improve on an 18.7 for the Kick Sauber driver. And let's see what we can do then heading into the last few corners in. I taken both laps. Hate the track, says Mushroom then. Goodness me. Well, there you go then. It's not too bad then if you don't like the track, to be fair. So here we go then for Umabro then. Can he improve on that 18.7 then up to the line then for Umabro then? It's a 17.8 then, and that's almost a second for Umabro. Then puts himself 13th then. Brilliant stuff indeed. All that Ferrari then very close indeed to causing an issue then for Umabro, but thankfully he has finished his lap time and can get himself out of the way now as well then, as we've got a few more drivers then. I think everyone pouring out of the pit lane here then to get themselves their final lap on the board. I'm not quite sure if Sam then, who's just been reeled away by the mechanics then, will have enough time to get himself back out then. Jake the Slayer is back in then. P9 is going to be at best for Jake the Slayer then in this first qualifying session of the season. So there we go. Wow. Here comes Stephen Anthony then. Up to the line then for Stephen Anthony then. Can he improve? He has improved. But he stays P7 somehow, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I wasn't looking at the telemetry, unfortunately. But Stephen Anthony does improve then to a 17.2 and has improved by 5.5 tenths as well. Then that's pretty good stuff indeed then. But unfortunately, no position change then. But potentially does cement. It must have changed his position, sorely. I'm not quite sure what's going on, to be fair, with my brain. It is definitely overheating. 1 minute left of qualifying then. Yeah, we've got Liam then starting off a lap as well. Then Umabro then just making his way back to the pit lane, I think then. Unless he's got enough fuel on board, then potentially he could go again then, could Umabro. We'll have to wait and see. Then Goddard then is about to start off a lap as well. He's got 40 seconds to get himself to the line then. Vintage coming through into Sector 2. Then Styles has retired then in the pit lane as well. He is done and dusted. P14 then for Styles at the best then in this qualifying session. Where is Rozersky? He's about to start off another lap then, I think. His teammate of Umabro is also going to start off another lap as well then, to be fair. So yes, he is. He's going again then. Has Umabro then. He's got enough energy, enough fuel saved up to go again then as well. Brilliant stuff indeed then. Here comes, well, what's happening here then? We've got a bit of a tow then from Rocket Lee. There's a McLaren ahead of us. And what is going on here then? It must be Ballot then, because San is in the pit lane then, heading through the chicane then. Goodness me then, and it's getting close indeed then. Here we go then, down towards Sector 3 then. What's going to happen here? And there's going to be some racing then in qualifying, and Rocket Lee is unhappy then with as Reflection is retired in the pit lane. Rocket Lee unhappy with Balint then, but Balint, I think, is on a lap. Yes, he is on a lap as well then, is Balint. So I think, unfortunately, with Rocket, then he just started the lap a bit too close then to the McLaren as we head into the final corner for that McLaren of Balint as well. But unfortunately for Rocket Lee, then it meant he couldn't improve his time. Then Balint improves his time to of 18.5, then stays P19. Then Rocket is back in the pit lane. Then can Rosa Sky find anything to take away that pole position potentially as well here as we head into the final couple of corners and for the kick Sauber as we go through into the penultimate corner now. Then Rosa Sky then needs to fight a 10th of a second or so then to get himself on pole position for the first time this season. Can he do it? And here he comes as Smithy away. He's jumped up to P3 there. Goodness me. Here comes Rosa Sky. It's pole position then for the kick Sauber. Then Rosa Sky on pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. And what a lap indeed then from Rosa Sky. Then a 16.312. It was 4 hundredths of a second ahead of Rocket Lee in the end. Then could Rocket Lee have found that time on the previous lap? Then we're not going to find out, unfortunately. Then Rocket Lee on the front row of the grid though. Smithy Almighty has jumped up to P3 then, but unbeknownst to me, I completely missed it to be fair, but that's nothing uncommon to be fair as well. What a lap then indeed then from Rosa Sky then, and Marsky chatting away in the in the party as well then. Goodness me then. So there we are then, pole sitter then for the first outing here in season 10 of Bronze. Kick Sauber then of Rosa Sky, then Rocket Lee on P2, Smithy P3, Right Reflection sorry P4, then Dynamo down P5 to Kanko in P6, fantastic stuff indeed. Marvsky in P7, Mr. Elite P8, then Stephen Anthony P9, San in P10, Liam in P11, then Jake the Slayer P12, Umapro P13, Hungry Styles P14, Mushroom P15, Vintage 16, then Real Ashton P17, Goddard's P18 on the medium compound tyres, and then we had two others then. I think one was Balint then, and one was Balint sorry in P19, and Winnie of course who didn't get a time on the board then with his issues in the qualifying session. Right then. Sorry, I was on a lap then, says Balint. Yeah, it looked like it was. So, yeah, unfortunately, it is the way it is then. Of course, if you start too close to the driver in front of you, then that can happen, which, of course, happens in gold for everybody apart from me because they get stuck behind me. There we are then. As we get ourselves loaded in, then we'll have a quick word from our lovely sponsors then, if my computer allows it, and we'll be back for the racing action. Here we go then, formation lap is underway then for the first race of Bronze Season 10. This is where it all starts then for Bronze. Looking forward to seeing how they're going to fare then on F1 25 then. Keep it clean, keep it consistent, and you'll get to the checkered flag and you get the points then. Possible one stop, possible two stop. We don't know what the way it's going to stop because, of course, we haven't had a dry or fully dry race then in the first two outings for gold or silver. So we'll have to wait and see then how the drivers are going to fare then in terms of the tyre wear then and the strategies. And top five then from Rosa, Rocket Lee, Smithy, Reflection to Dynamo down then on the hard compound tyres, to Kanko opting for the medium compound tyres in P6 then. We've got more hards then for Marvsky, Mr. Elite, Stephen Anthony and San then down to the top 10. Then Liam in P11 on the medium compound tyres. Then Jake the Slayer, Umabro and Hungry Styles on the hards. Serious Russian opting for the medium compound tyre as well. Then Vintage in P16 on the hards. Same for Real Ashton in P17 and Goddard's in P18. Balint on the medium compound tyres, and unfortunately for Winnie, fortunately for Winnie, he's back in the session, then he's able to start the race then, but unfortunately for Winnie, was not able to take part in qualifying. He's on the hard compound tyres as well then, so the majority going for the hard compound tyres. 4 drivers out of the 20 opting for the medium compound tyres. Not a soft compound in sight. as well, then, which is fantastic stuff indeed to see, because the softs do not last very much around here. But there we go. Good stuff indeed. Then we get ourselves lined up on the grid then for the first race of Bronze Season 10. Then here it comes then, ladies and gentlemen. 29 laps of racing action then here for Bronze. Then let's see how it's going to fare then into the first corner and into the rest of the laps as well then. But I think this is where it's going to get a bit difficult, because we don't know exactly what we're going to be watching in the race in terms of the dry conditions, and we might see a lot more anticipated action as well then, as a few drivers then having an issue getting themselves parked up on the grid. Then hopefully we get a better camera angle than this. Yes, we do. And here we are then for the first round of Bronze Season 10. It's lights on, it's lights out then, and away we go then in Melbourne then for the first race of Bronze Season 10. A great getaway then indeed for Rosa Sky, who holds on to the lead in towards turn 1 then. In the background we've got a lot of action, I think, then as we go through the first couple of corners then. Everyone seems to have got themselves through unscathed, I think. I hope. As oh dear, there's all sorts of action in the background as well then, goodness me. And wow, I thought there was all sorts of movers and shakers there. Dukanko's dropped down. He was on the medium compound tyre to start with, then must have had a bit of a difficult start then in the Red Bull then for the first outing of the season as well. Then as we go through into Sector 2 momentarily, then Vintage and Winnie, then Winnie's up 3 places as well. Then fantastic start then. Dukanko is struggling here on the Red Bull, unfortunately then being passed by Stephen Anthony and Mistrally and Mask as well then. My goodness me, they're heading on to the back straight now as well. Wow, that's a fantastic start from Bronze indeed, actually, I have to say. Fantastic stuff indeed all round. As Winnie and Styles then switching places as well. Then Styles has got himself back past the Ferrari as heading into P17. Then into the chicane we go. Then San and Umabro. Goodness me, that's close indeed. Wow, there's a Haas going flying off there. And that was Liam, I think, then flying off. Then Ballett's gone through up 6 places for Ballett as well. Then goodness me, he's on the medium compound tyre. Oh dear, and then steaming to the back, then Jake the Slayer, then into the back of the McLaren as well, then going through into the final couple of corners, and oh dear, Winnie and Styles again battling away, then that's like Goddard's go through into P18, then there's a Red Bull then of Real Ashton, then trying to get himself round the outside, but not quite then. Into the pits comes Liam, then Liam's into the box, and unfortunately Liam, it's not got his way on the first lap, then can he get it slowed down? Yes, he can. Has he got damage is the question, though. We'll come back to that one as we go through then on to lap 2 then. And DRS now enabled as well, then heading into turn 3. Oh, it's late on the brakes then from Rocket Lee then, and Smithy is waiting in the wings in, but Rocket Lee has taken back the lead, or taken the lead I should say, goodness me. Liam then has, I don't think he had a wing change there, did he? That was very quick indeed if he was, but he's got himself out on a fresh set of medium compound tyres then, and back underway then into the race then for Liam then. Smithy has passed Rosa Sky, then Rosa is having an issue then, or is he just saving some energy and saving some tyres then in this early stage of the race as well then, heading through in towards Sector 3 now. And Ginger Age, it's a good start because Farf's not racing, says Ginger Age, and my goodness me, it should be the other way around then. It's a good start because Ginger Age isn't racing this season. That's fantastic. Well, it's not fantastic. I'm going to be racing with him in 100%. It's going to be terrible, but there we go. So we'll wait and see how that goes, but I have a feeling that Ginger Age is not going to be the only one raging in that race when we start next Wednesday, of course, then not tomorrow, then in a week's time from tomorrow for the 100% league then, as we kick off then into a new era then, of course, as well then for the 100% league. Then we'll come back to that then towards the end of the stream, because we've got more action out on screen right now as Rocket Lee sets the fastest lap of the race then. Smithy might go through into P2 then, passing Rosa Sky, who's dropped down 2 places then in this opening few laps. He did have a good first lap then, but maybe just backing off then, has allowed 2 of his rivals to go through then onto lap 3 now of 29 then. Everyone going through the car park section now. We've got Goddard and Styles then battling away then for P17 then. Styles is through, I think. Yes, he is then up into P17 now for Styles. Then Liam then 20 seconds behind, but thankfully he's got himself back out and underway then with a fresh wing and a fresh set of tyres as well. Now let's see what he can do then in the rest of this race. Then we'll switch back to the tyre situation to see what is going on then for the strategy. And well, we've had, I thought, no, we had Liam. Did Liam start on the mediums and compound tyre as well then? So I thought we had 4 drivers starting on the mediums then. It is still 4 drivers on the medium compound tyre, but unfortunately for Liam, then he has come off the first set and onto a second set then. As we go through the chicane then, San has passed Dukanko then. Dukanko's not having a great time on the medium compound tyres then, so maybe that suggests that the hard compound has warmed up enough now then, and is probably maybe a better tyre than overall for the 20 drivers out there on the racing track. That is, it depends what the temperature is, because we're not quite sure. We haven't had the high temperatures of a dry circuit then in this first few rounds, or first few season openers, I should say. Then for gold it was very, very wet. For silver it was mildly wet now, and for bronze it's completely dry. So Yeah, they're testing the waters, not literally then in this one. So we go through then onto lap 4, then Rocket Lee being chased down by Smithy, then into the car park section as well, then Rosa Sky in close proximity, then Reflection comes as well, then so does Dynamo Dan, so does Marvsky, and they're starting to drop Mr. Elite slightly as well then as we go through into lap 4 as well now. And then we've got Stephen Anthony all over the back of Mr. Elite heading through into Sector 2 momentarily then. So the top 6 then are in a DRS train, then Mr. Elite then strolling to keep up then at this stage, and Stephen Anthony could get himself through with some DRS as well then. Shots fired, says Sean. So yes, indeed, and I'm going to be terrified of seeing you on track as Smithy takes the lead, then into the chicane, then passing Rocket Lee with some DRS assistance as well. Reflections picked up a 3-second penalty, then the first driver so far with a 3-second penalty, I should say, heading into lap 5 in a few quarters time then, but very early on then to pick up a penalty as well then, and that could be treacherous stuff indeed. Then the penalties around here as well, then minimising the penalties this season is going to be very important then, because of course it's very easy to get a penalty then with the dirty air then coming off the car in front of you if you're following closely. And speaking of following closely, here comes Rocket Lee, here comes Rosa Sky, then can he get moved then into turn 1? He's a bit too far back, I think, is Rocket Lee then, maybe conserving a bit of the energy as well, then heading through as we go through. Then Dynamo Dan is all over the back of Reflection here, and Reflection's starting to struggle, I think, then, because he's dropped 8/10, then it could be getting a bit dicey then for Reflection. Then can he get a move on then? Dynamo Dan breathing down his neck then into the car park section on lap 5 now as well. Then Mr. Elite 2 seconds behind. Stephen Anthony not been able to make his way through then, unfortunately, at this stage of the race as well. Then Sam then is closing in as well, then he's only 1 second away. Oh my goodness me. And there we go. DeCanker then, who's maybe starting to get those medium compound tyres working a bit better now as well. Then as we go into lap 5 as well, then heading through into sector 2 here. So far so good then for all 20 runners and riders. Then they're all out on track, then they're all putting in a shift as well then. I don't want to jinx it, but there we go. Then Liam then is catching. He's actually catching quite quickly as well then, to be fair. On the pack ahead of him as well then. Stephen Anthony has passed Mr. Elite then for P7, then into the chicane, or before the chicane really, with the DRS, and now into P7 goes the Williams driver. Then he's got 2.7 seconds to try and close up to the top 6, who are trying to scamper away at this point then. Reflections caught back up then to the top 3 as well. Then this is looking pretty good indeed as we head into lap 6. Oh, that's a bit of a lock up then for Reflection. There's contact with Dynamo Dan, there's more contact with Marvsky into the back of all of them, and wow, that is bad timing indeed. Then Reflection then with the spin, will he have to come into the pit lane? He's carrying on then, but he's had an issue then, has Reflection, then that spin has been very costly indeed, from P4 down to P12 now as well. And wow, and luckily no damage then to the Aston Martin. Then is there damage though to Dynamo Dan? And I think he might have got away with it, and then he's lost out to the DRS though. That was a massive shunt then indeed. And has Marvsky got any issues as well? Then we'll have to wait and see. That I think he's got a left end plate missing then for the Mercedes driver. Then yes, he does, unfortunately then for Marvsky. Might have to think about an early stop then for the Mercedes team, and getting that front wing replaced, or changed I should say as well then. But that was unfortunate as well then, and nowhere he can go then, as Winnie has retired from the session. What's happened to Winnie then? Liam's picked up a 3-second penalty. It's a safety car, is it? It's a VSC, I think, actually. What's going on? I'm not quite sure what's happened. Then Winnie has crashed, so Winnie is out. Well, I don't want to laugh, but he is out. I'm not quite sure. Basically, I was laughing because I don't know what's going on, to be fair. I think it's a VSC. I have no idea, no way of telling, to be fair, what's going on here. It could be the first VSC of the season as well, actually. Which is pretty impressive, being third round in and sort of thing. But there we go then, as we go through. We didn't see where Winnie's car was stranded then for Liam then as well then. Will we see some pit stop activity? Drive-through penalty for Smithy and Rocket Lee then as we go through. Then there's contact between Rosa Sky and Smithy, or Rocket Lee as well then. Goodness me, what is going on here then? This restart has been absolutely appalling. But Marvsky's in the pit lane, and I think trying to use some of that VSC then to his advantage as well then. But he has had to call it a day then. Reflection and Rocket Lee, both Aston Martins, have been having a horrible time up there. Then Rocket Lee can't turn the car in at turn 1 there, and is lost out then, I think, potentially to Ballet and Jake the Slayer as well then, as we head through then onto lap 7 then, is where it's all gone wrong then as well. Lap 7 as we head into the car park section, and that is thrown the dice amongst the pigeons, or whatever the saying is. Rosa Sky leads the way then, but I think he might be under investigation then for that contact with Rocket Rocket Lee. Then Smithy Almighty's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC here. And Dynamo Dan then is coming through as well then into P3. Then Stephen Anthony then in the Williams then right behind, as is Mr. Elite. He's back in the fight now as well as Mr. Elite. Then Sam then into P6 as well, then looking to get himself in the mix as well. Goodness me. It's all turned on its head then on lap 7 then as well with that VSC. Wow. Marvsky is coming to the pit lane for a new wing and a fresh set of medium compound tyres. And then for the Mercedes driver, then let's see what he can do. Then he's 12 seconds behind. Then as we go through then into lap 8 momentarily. Then Rocket Lee has passed Jake the Slayer. Then where is Rocket Lee going? Goodness me! Then I think he just needs to keep the car under control. Then and keep his head as well. Then in this race, then he can get himself back in the points easily. Then as well. Then Smithy Almighty then into the pit lane. Then so Smithy is serving that drive-through penalty then as quickly as possible. I think then he will come out. Where's Rocket Lee? Rocket Lee is in the pit lane as well then. So Rocket Lee serving that drive-through penalty also then for the Aston Martin. Yes, he is. So unfortunately for Smithy and Rocket Lee, then the drive-through penalty then compounded then as well. Then his real Aston's in the pit lane for a pit stop. Then he's onto a medium compound tyre and he's got a wing change as well. Then there's a problem then for Styles. No, is it Styles? It must be Styles, I think. Then Styles has had an issue somewhere. He got himself back on the way quickly enough though. I didn't even see it. So I won't accuse him of anything. Rocket Lee out of the pit lane has had another issue as we go through turn 1 then. And Liam has gone through then. What's happened to Rocket Lee coming out of the pits here as well then? Goodness me. It's not gone too well then for Rocket Lee then coming out of the pit lane here as well. Then I can't change the camera angle. Yes, I can now. There we go. But there we go then. So Rocket Lee then has served the drive-through penalty, got that out of the way. Then same for Smithy as well. Then Smithy then in P15. Then unfortunately that has been very costly indeed. Of course the group was so bunched up as well. Then more yellow flags. This time it's Rocket Lee again. Then goodness me, what's happening to the Aston Martin driver? He was flying out there then in the first stint or first 3 laps of this stint as well. Then those tyres I think are just overheated. Then he needs to get himself in the pit lane to sort that out and get a new set of boots on as well. Here comes Dynamo Dan. They're looking to challenge Rosa Sky then for the lead of the Grand Prix. Then heading into lap 9 now as we fly through then into the first turn. And this time then Dynamo Dan then looking to try and put the pressure on for the race lead for the first time this session as well. Then we've got a problem then for Liam as well. Then Liam's had an issue out of the chicane. He has lost. I think he's lost an end plate there as well. Then goodness me. Oh yes, Liam's lost an end plate on the left hand side. Then hoping to get himself back in the pits to sort that out as well. Then rear Ashton then onto a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Then in all of that fracas has got himself onto a new set of boots. Then and away he goes then for the Red Bull driver. Then Liam is staying out then to try and keep on going then on this stint as well. Then Rocket Lee then trying to get himself back underway then in this race as well. Then out in front, Dynamo Dan has dropped his teammate Stephen Anthony then out of DRS range then, but these two now going to fight for the race lead here onto lap 9 then as we go through into the chicane. Then once again then Williams then not close enough this time as we head into the next part as Rocket Lee has retired from the session. Where is that then? That could be a problem indeed. Oh dear, Real Ashton then is all over the back of... no, he's got himself past Liam, I should say. Liam then struggling with wing damage as well. Then Reflection has got himself past Kanko here. And there's going to be a squeeze there as well. Then, my goodness me. Then Reflection then through up in a P7 as well. Then, of course, Reflection does have a time penalty then, who is going to be added onto his race time. 3 seconds then, of course, that is as well then. Heading on to lap 10 now, flying through the laps, and indeed then unfortunately for Rocket Lee is out of the race then at the pit entry it looks like then as well. Then so a big collision then it looks like for Rocket Lee. Winnie then having the first collision which caused the VSC. Then San and Mr. Elite then battling away for P4. Then Mr. Elite up into P4 ahead of the McLaren of San for the time being, that is. And there we go then. As we go through then into lap 10 then into the third waypoint then Rocket Lee has left the session. Unfortunately Rocket Lee just not going his way today in this opening race of the season as well. As we go through the car park section then Reflection then his teammate then is trying to get himself back up the order as well then after the spin that cost him dearly as well. Then Hungry Styles and Smithy then are fighting as well. Then Smithy then of course has served his drive-through penalty now as well then, so he's free to race, but of course he has dropped himself down a few positions with that drive-through penalty as well. Then Reflection passing Umabro then for P6. Then Reflection's on a mission here, and the DRS then open then for the Aston Martin. They're heading into the chicane. Then he's got himself up in a P6 as well now. Try and scamper away. Then can he get himself back in the fight? I should say. Then goodness me, for that top 5 positions as well. Then the penalty's going to be costly indeed. Then Umabro picks up a penalty going through the chicane as well. That dirty air then from Reflection. They're not going to be too good indeed. Then can he keep up then with the Aston Martin, get himself into the elevated positions here as well? We will wait and see. But there we go. So we go through then into lap 11. So then Yumapra then sticking with a reflection for the time being as well, then, which is going to be good news for Yumapra. Then it's going to pull him along then to keep him out of danger there from those on the medium compound tyres behind as well. Then Serious Mushroom is on the charge. Not quite then into turn 1. Then let's see what he can do then into turn 3. We're a bit too far back, I imagine, but we'll try that again. As Vintage and Balance, then Balance had an issue then because he's lost out to loads of drivers then as well. Then Vintage has gone through to P10, then Jake the Slayer P11, Goddard's P12, and Hungry Styles into P13. Smithy's gone through as well for P14. Goodness me, there's all sorts of action here forming up behind Vintage and in the Haas then at P10. Then of course the points paying positions then for bronze are all the way down to P15. So all drivers here in the battle are in the points paying positions, of course. We'll have to wait and see then how that's going to play out then in the next few stages. Then in the next the next, what is that, I can't do the maths then, is that 17 18 laps, something like that. I can't do the maths, it's too difficult for me, I'm afraid. My brain does not function, especially when it's being boiled like a potato. Jake the Slayer has got a penalty there somehow. I'm not quite sure. Jake the Slayer, I think there was a bit of contact there, wasn't it, between the Mercedes there as well. I'm not quite sure if it was Jake the Slayer or Hungry Styles as well. But there was something going on there. But he's got a penalty, unfortunately, for it. But that can be reviewed after the race, of course. But as long as you provide a full copy of your race director. Yeah, so far so good then in this race, and unfortunately for Rocket League and Winnie, then big incidents there as well, then separate incidents, but unfortunately out of the race, then the Canker in the pit lane. Liam's got a penalty as well, then Jake the Slayer's also in the pits as well, then from the hard compound tyre. That's interesting. So the Canker then off the medium, then onto the hards, then, and Jake the Slayer is going to go from the hards to the mediums. Very good stuff indeed. And away they go. So there we are then as we head through into the into Sector 2 then once again for the race leaders. Then Dynamo Dan, I very mistakenly missed the swap for the lead, but Rosa Sky then is staying with the Williams then for the time being. Then on lap 12 then of 29 then who's going to try and do a one stop then? We've seen a few drivers then already in the pit lane then, so they're calling it a two stop potentially. We'll have to wait and see then how that's going to open up, but we think there's going to be some drivers then opting for the one stop, then some drivers then opting for the two stop then, as San has passed San in the McLaren has passed Mr. Elite in the Alpine, and there we go. I've got my words out then. Stephen Anthony then has dropped off the back of the top two by 3 seconds, and he's now under pressure from Sam then, and Mr. Elite is coming with him as well. Then, oh dear, Mr. Elite's had a bit of a squirreling moment out of the corner then as well then, and that could cost him some DRS then on the McLaren. Yes, it has then, I think, unfortunately then for Mr. Elite. So there we go then. Into the pits comes Stephen Anthony then, so he's calling it a day then on his hard compound tyres already then. For Stephen Anthony then, that's him done and dusted it. I'm going to call him Dad 188 now, I should say. Mushroom's also in the pits then, 12 laps on the medium compound tyre for Mushroom as well then, so that's a pretty good stint indeed then. Medium compound's going on for Stephen Anthony then in the Williams. Vintage goes through then, Goddard's, Styles, Smithy go through as well then. Who is next to come through? Balance, has stayed out as well then. Coming out of the pit lane now goes Stephen Anthony. There's all sorts of action then. Goddard's had an issue then, I think, then through turn 1 then. Yes, he has, then he's lost out to Smithy, I think, there as well. Heading into the third turn, I think that is, and yes, they have had some sort of coming together. Then, goodness me, out of the pits comes Mushroom, then to Kanko, then, and we've got a Williams. No, it's Jake the Slayer then on his 1 lap medium compound tyre is going to go for the move. My goodness me, what's going on there? He just came across DeCanco there, and DeCanco is still sticking at it then as well. We're going through into turn 4, then he stays. They switch places then. P15 then for Jake the Slayer, then DeCanco then on the hard compound tyre, then into P16, and of course it's going to be going longer than those on the medium compound tyres then you would expect as well then. Styles and Vintage then switching places, then Styles up into P7, I should say, then Vintage down as well, then Smithy Almighty on the charge, then here he comes then trying to get himself past the Haas of Vintage, I should say, and he has done as well then into P8 then for the Ferrari driver. Good stuff indeed. Goddard staying with them, and here comes Stephen Anthony, and he's on fresh medium compound tyres compared to those on the older hard compound tyre as well, then just ahead of him now as well, then heading through the penultimate corner. Then you can see how quickly he's gaining then on the Mercedes as we go through the final corner now as well. Then into the pits comes Vintage, but Mushroom. Stephen Anthony has already passed Goddard then before we get through the final corner then as we go on to lap 14, and now into turn 1 we go then. It's a late move then indeed from Goddard, but unfortunately then not going to frighten Stephen Anthony then into turn 1 then on this occasion. occasion. Into the pits comes Vintage and medium compound, no, not medium compound tyres, sorry. Yes, it is medium compound tyres for Vintage, sorry. As we go through then out of the pit lane, then balance onto the hard compound tyres as well then. As here comes Real Ashton then. He's going to be close indeed with Vintage as we go through the first couple of quarters then. And of course the speed is going to be with the Red Bull then heading into the first two turns. And heading into turn 3 then Vintage has come out ahead then of the Red Bull then for the time being, that is. Vintage of course is on fresher tyres as well for now. Good stuff. Right, here comes Smithy then. Smithy on the charge then. He's passing Styles then. Reflection has passed Sand then as well then for P3. Then Reflection's on the Stallman charge then to try and get himself back into the top of the order as well then. Smithy Almighty then passing Styles then for that P7 position as well then. Of course Smithy and Rocket Lee then had their drive-through penalties to serve as well then, which didn't go well unfortunately for that restart under the VSC. Then Liam's picked up a penalty unfortunately. I think he's still got that wing damage then as Liam, so fair play indeed for struggling on then with that damage as well then, because it's not going to be very easy around here, especially as well. Then here comes Stephen Anthony trying to line up a move then on Styles as we go onto the first straight, onto the main straight, goodness me, onto lap 15 as well. Then can't get anything right today, but there we are then. That is nothing new. As here we go then. Here comes Stephen Anthony. And of course the problem with doing the two-stop then, if you get stuck behind the traffic, which we did see a bit of yesterday in Silver as well, then it can really impact your race as well. As we're going through into turn 3, and he's all over the back then of that Racing Bull of Styles as we go through the car park section, then trying to line up a move then into turn 5, not quite then for the Williams then as well. Then as we go through onto lap 15, then into sector 2 as well. Then here comes Stephen Anthony. Then he's going to be lining up a move now, I think. Then onto the Liam's got a 10-second, but he was speeding in the pit lane as well. Then my goodness me, that wing damage has not been very helpful there for Liam. As here comes the Williams of Stephen Anthony. Then can he mount a charge then into the chicane? It's going to be close indeed. Oh, there's a squeeze then, and Styles then just cut across then the Williams driver, unfortunately as well then for Stephen Anthony then, I think, as we go through then into the chicane. Then they've got themselves through unscathed, and Stephen Anthony does get the position as well then, but that could have been a much worse then as well then between the Racing Bull and the Williams driver. Unfortunately there, thankfully I should say, no harm has come then. The Sand is in the pit lane then from the hard compound tyres then. Is it time to go? I mean, can they do a one stop from here is the question as we go through then on to lap 16 now. And here comes Stephen Anthony, and he's already got a gap then to Styles. Then he's going to try and pass Smithy as well then on his fresh medium compound tyres then into P6 now for Stephen Anthony. Then 6 seconds up the road is Umatbro as well then. Pit stops then for Sand, then Sand onto the medium compound tyres coming out of the pit lane then into P11 then for the McLaren. Of course will be flying then on those fresh tyres. Then can he get those mediums to the end of the Grand Prix is the question though. We will have to wait and see then. Potentially he might have to stop again then. It might have been a bit of a no man's land in terms of a one stop and a two stop then, and he had to go for the stop because the tyres then on the hard compound, that is, were just done and dusted. Then here he goes then into sector 2, then trying to go past two Mercedes drivers as well. Then Marvsky then first, and Goddard's then in P9 as well. Then of course Goddard's yet to stop. Then Marvsky I think will have to stop again as well in this Grand Prix. But fantastic stuff indeed so far in this race. And here comes the Mercedes pair then switching places into the chicane. They have done so very nicely. Liam has retired then in the pit lane, unfortunately, and that is a pit and quit then for the Haas driver, which is a big shame indeed. Again, not going his way then, and unfortunately it's broken the record as well then, because we were on for a fantastic, oh my god, then what's happened there? And that's Reflection then. Reflection's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Oh my days, what is going on here? And Reflection then I think locked up going into the pits as well then, and has been disqualified then as well, which is very odd. There's a yellow flag out there. I think that might be for Liam's car then that's coming back out onto the track then, but it will be a ghost car. But it's all action here in bronze then. They've decided that they didn't like the wet weather then from the last two rounds as well then for gold and silver. Then they were going to take matters into their own hands in terms of putting on the action on track as well then. Unfortunately, that's 4 drivers out of the race. They're both Aston Martins that I said were doing so well, or looked so well then in the first few laps of this race, are out of the Grand Prix. Same for Whitty as well then. Same for Liam D as well then, as Reflections then left the session as well then, I think in disgust then with whatever happened there as well. But it looked like from the angle we saw from the Alpine, I think pitting as well then at the time, was that Reflection then just stamped on the brakes, then locked the car up, spun the car slightly, then it blocked the pit entry then, and that got him disqualified then from this Grand Prix on lap 16 on to 17 as well. Then my goodness me, into the pits comes the race leader. Then Rosa Sky then is called it a day. Then he's into the box now for the Kick Sauber team. Dynamo Dan has just pit for medium compound tyres. Then he will I think re-inherit the lead then when his teammate Stephen Anthony most likely pits again. Then I'm not quite sure Stephen Anthony's going to be able to get to the end of the Grand Prix from there, but Stephen Anthony takes the lead of the Grand Prix as the Dynamo Dan then into P2 then. So both Williams 1-2 as it stands as well. Then Rosa Sky coming out of the pit lane. He's going to be close indeed with San. Where is he? He's already through into turn 2. Then goes Rosa Sky. There he is in front of us now as well. Then San then up into P4 and looking to mount a charge then potentially for a podium place here as well. Then Mr. Elite then heading through into P5. Then Marvsky then back up into P6 as well. Then, but I think might have to stop again then for Marvsky as he's starting to struggle on those medium compound tyres. Then Umabro and Slayer are battling as well. Then heading through into the car park section. And oh dear, that's going to get dicey indeed then. Into turn 5, and Umabro holds on then for the time being. Then he's on the fresher tyres. Then Jake the Slayer's done 6 laps. Then Umabro's done 1 lap so far. Then on his medium compound tyres. Then DeCanco as well catching up now as well. Then in the Red Bull. Then of course on the hard compound tyres, which should make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Might be a bit of a stretch as well towards the end stint then as well. Then Goddard's has passed Real Ashton then for P15. Then into the points paying positions. Then Real Ashton I think might have to make a stop as well. Then similar to Marvsky as well in this Grand Prix. Dynamo Dan is closing in on his teammate then into the DRS range then on the fresh medium rubber as well then for the second. Williams on track that is for the time being. So I think there might be some moves being made down at Williams then very soon as we go through then onto lap 19. Dynamo Dan sets the fastest lap of the race then. Fantastic stuff indeed. Heading through into the... oh dear, Sands... Oh, no, Sands got the fastest lap as well. I thought we should sell a penalty as well. Then Marvsky in the pit lane. Mushroom up into P6 now, I should say. Goodness me. Both Alpines looking pretty good indeed out there as well. Then into the pits comes Marvsky then for a new set of medium compound tyres. Then 10 laps to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Should be doable then on those medium compound tyres then for Marvsky as well. Then as we head out of the pit lane, it's going to be close indeed as Real Ashton's in the pits as well. Then similar sort of thing then to Marvsky as well. I think then onto a fresh set of medium compound tyres, and away we go then for the final stint for Marvsky as well then. And of course he's only 2 seconds behind the McLaren and his teammate as well there, so he's not too far away then from getting a few places. And now can he power on then on his fresh medium rubber. Stephen Anthony has lost the lead then to his teammate of Dynamo Dan then into the chicane. Then Dynamo Dan takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed as well. Then heading through into sector 3 as well now, and let's see if Dynamo Dan can stretch his legs. Then Rosa Sky is going to be catching as quickly as he can as well. Then DeCanco has passed Slayer I think then for P8 then as well on the hard compound tyres. Smithy Almighty and Star was I think having a bit of a battle as well then for that P11 position then as we go through then into lap 20 momentarily as well now. Wow, it's been all action here in bronze, to be fair, this opening round of the season. My goodness me then, it's wow, it's just incredible stuff indeed. Stephen Anthony unfortunately has lost out to the DRS of his teammate then and could be under pressure from Rosa Sky momentarily then. Will there be some team games down at Williams to try and hold back Rosa Sky then from attacking Dynamo Dan then later on in this Grand Prix then? Can Dynamo Dan hold on to the lead of the Grand Prix? Can he win the first race of the season for bronze season 10 then? Smithy and Vintage are now switching places as well as we go through. Then Vintage had an issue then through turn 1 then because he's lost out to Styles as well then heading into the chicane then, and now in towards turn 3 then. Vintage down to P12 unfortunately there. Marvskin then is caught up to Ballant as well now. Ballant then is under pressure then. Ballant's had an issue because he was closing in on Goddard's then as well, but he's had an issue then. He's dropped back now out in front. Then Rosa Sky and Stephen Anthony. Then Stephen Anthony couldn't do anything to defend from the Kick Sauber driver. Then storming through then into the chicane we go. Then up into P2, 2.5 seconds the gap now to the lead of the Grand Prix for the Kick Sauber. Let's see how this is going to open up then in the last 8 laps or so then as we cross over into lap 21 momentarily now. But as Jed says, picked up a penalty. Then 3 penalties out there as well. Then Umabro, DeCanco and Jake the Slayer are the penalty drivers for the time being. And it won't, I don't think, or drop them out the points as it stands. So that's all good then. Chazza has said, hello there. Hello there indeed yourself. Why, I pal. as we go through then into lap 21. Then Smithy Almighty then is all over Jake the Slayer next. So he's been battling with the Racing Bulls quite a lot then this first race. Jake the Slayer was coming into the pit lane, so a bit of a late call there, but he's got himself into the box now and calling it a day on the medium compound tyres. Then Styles up into P10, then Vintage up into P11. Then what will Slayer do then on his strategy? Then medium compounds going on then for the Racing Bull driver. Then he's going to be out behind Marsky and Bannett. Then unfortunately for Real Ashton, he's a bit too far back to be able to make a jump then on Jake the Slayer. But Jake the Slayer coming out of the pit lane now, it's going to have to go great guns indeed then on those medium compound tyres to get himself to the checkered flag. But we'll wait and see what he can do. Right then, 2.3 seconds the gap then out in front, then was about 2.4, 2.5 then on the previous lap then, so it's staying status quo for the time being. 1 lap younger tyres for Rosasky might be the factor towards the very end, then might be the factor on the final lap of the Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to get tense indeed. Then Smithy Almighty passing Kanko into P8 then for the Ferrari driver as well, then heading through the chicane then once again back on a mission then for Smithy then to try and get himself back into the higher echelons of the points paying positions after qualifying P3. Unfortunately, it's not gone his way then so far in this race then, but he's doing a great job then after a drive-through penalty of battling back through the Stephen Anthony's in the pits. He's got a 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane as well then for Stephen Anthony. Oh, goodness me, it's unfortunate stuff indeed. It's very unfortunate indeed, but he's into the box for a set of medium compound tyres and back underway then. Unfortunately, that 10-second penalty then, as he's going to come out then, there's a bit of traffic there as well. Then where is that Racing Bull then of Styles? Then is going to be ahead of Stephen Anthony into turn 1 then. Yes, he is. That 10 seconds is going to be very costly indeed for Stephen Anthony, and he was running very high up then as well then, wasn't he, in the order as well. Then of course he's now on fresh boots as well. Then Vintage is doing the same thing, and where is he going? He's trying to get himself out of the pit lane then, but he's going the wrong way there as we go into turn 1 for Vintage, but out onto a fresh set of medium compound tyres as well then for Vintage. Good stuff indeed, and let's see what they can do, because of course the fresh rubber then, those who look like they might be storming ahead then at this stage, they might be having to might be starting to struggle, I should say, towards the very end of the Grand Prix then, as Umabro passed Serious Mushroom I think then for P5. Then Umabro on a bit of a charge here. Serious Mushroom might come back at him towards the end of the Grand Prix on those hard compound tyres. We'll have to wait and see. Wow. It's absolutely brilliant. I must say this is my first proper commentating back in the commentary box then after Bronze Season 9 then as well. Then I'm taking a while to get acclimatized back to it, because it has been absolutely epic throughout the way through then, hasn't it, so far? We'll have a look momentarily then onto lap 25 then for the position changes and of course the penalty situations as well then, because there's a few penalties out there now as well. Then track limits then are starting to become a menace as well here as we go through onto lap 23. Then we've got Stephen Anthony trying to get himself past Styles now, of course with the fresher rubber. Then he's gone through then into P9, then up into P9 I should say, but that 10-second penalty is going to be coming back to bite him I think there as well, but of course if he can get himself far up the road now on his fresh medium compound tyres, that won't be a problem of course as we go through into lap 29 in a few laps time. That is 6 laps or so to go I think. I can't do the maths again, but there we go, nothing new as we head into lap 23 of 29 then, and we've got Stephen Anthony on a charge as well here, because of course he's now on a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Unfortunately that 10-second moment is going to come back to bite him. Can he go for a move then into the chicane? Not quite then for Stephen Anthony. He has to think twice about it then as we head out of the chicane now as well, and I think he might have lost a bit of time to the dirty air then of Kanko heading down towards the next right-hander. Then unfortunately he's a bit too far back there to make a move as we stay for the time being in P9 with Stephen Anthony as well then. Heading on to lap 24 then, 6 laps to go then, including lap 24 as well then. It could be anyone's bet then. I think Rosasky is starting to inch closer to Dynamo Dan then. Stephen Anthony then in the Williams as well then, of course, is trying to fight through as well then, up into P8 with some DRS, then gets himself up into P8 as well, then passing to Kanko now into turn 1 as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed. Umabro and Serious Mushroom having a bit of a dice then for P5 I should say then. Umabro, sorry, has lost out then to the Mushroom as as we go through into the car park section as well. Then on lap 24, P5, and then for Mushroom, then he's 8 seconds back from his teammate Mr. Elite then as it stands. But we'll see if they can try and get some momentum then for Mushroom. Then, of course, on his hard compound tyres, will they last long enough compared to those on the mediums? Then will the mediums start to drop off as Mr. Elite is making moves of his own as well? Then up into P3 then for Mr. Elite then, and passing San then into the chicane then onto lap 24 as well. Then looking good indeed. And Rosa Sky 1.5 seconds behind. Then he's gaining. It was 1.4 or 2.4 I should say then. Sorry. A few laps ago, and then he got himself down to 1.7. Then driver of the day candidates and Mr. Elite, Dynamo Dan, Mushroom, and San as well. Then we'll have a look quickly at the penalty situation then, and we won't look at the penalty. We'll look at the penalties. Umabra's got 3 seconds. Then that would drop him a place behind Smithy as it stands. Stephen Anti's got a 10-second vote. That would drop him all the way down to drop him down to a P10 at the moment. Kanko then would lose a spot to Stars as well. Then so Stars will gain 2 places. Then Godaz then will not lose a place then with his penalty as it stands in. Fortunately for Jake the Slayer, he would lose out to both Balin and to Vintage, then down to P15. But of course, Jake the Slayer's on a fresh set of tyres then, so those are the penalties to keep in mind then as you vote for driver of the day. Then here are the position changes, which is more important, as Umabro has made a position change and up into P5. Then goodness me, it's close indeed through the car park section. Then on lap 25, then not quite then for Mushroom. Then he has to stay behind then for the time being. Then but Smithy is getting close as well. Then here comes Smithy Almighty. Then he's not a shy for a horrible overtake, as he found out on me in the practice session the other day. And he ended up in a wall, but it wasn't my fault. It was definitely Smithy's fault. So there we go. Yes, there we go. Then Smithy then stays P7 then, but he's on a charge. Mushroom needs to get a move on then, passing Umabro as well. Can he into the chicane? Not quite. They're staying as they are for the time being. Yellow flags for a problem out there for Vintage. I think then it's Vintage off at turn 5. Goodness me. And he's got himself back underway quickly enough then. That's good stuff. Oh no, it's not good stuff. He's got a wing damage and that right end plate missing then for the Haas. Then can he get himself to the checkered flag then, or will he have to pit again then to get that wing replaced? Then we'll have to wait and see. But my goodness me, then 2.1 seconds the gap out in front then. So Dynamo Dan has put his foot down now and has tried to oh God, maybe saving some battery to maybe just get himself into a comfortable spot then to the end of the race. But up 4 places then for Dynamo Dan then. He has been included in driver of the day. Good stuff indeed then. Mr. Elite's up 5 places then as well onto the podium places for the Alpine driver as well. They're looking good indeed then, but he's got San for company as well, who's a candidate for driver of the day as well, who's in P4 for the time being. And it's going to be a fight between P3 then between those two. We will come back to that one then. Mushroom then in the driver of the day candidacy as well then is looking to get himself up 10 places potentially with Umabro's penalty though, although Smithy might have something to say about that as well. Then if he can get himself past the Mushroom as well, then Vintage is in the pit lane then to get that front wing sorted. Then unfortunately for Vintage, it was going so well then for the Haas driver as well then. And Mr. Elite then is Mr. Elite we've already talked about, Dynamo Dan we've already talked about, Mushroom and San we've already talked about. So those are your driver of the day nominees, and Mushroom, San, Mr. Elite and Dynamo Dan then are your candidates here then for the first round of the season. So make sure you get your votes in, because as Smithy's picked up a penalty, then that is going to be great news indeed then for Mushroom. He doesn't have to worry too much about Umabro or Smithy Almighty now, because he can just leave it to the gods now, and just get himself home then within 3 seconds of those two. Jake the Slayer's got a 3-second vote as well, and unfortunately for Jake the Slayer, but of course he is powering on then on those fresh medium compound tyres. So that is the situation there as well then. So Mr. Elite then up 5 places then into the podium places then for the Alpine team then, looking to get himself potentially a driver of the day. Then Dynamo Dan leading the race then from P5 on the grid as Roz has picked up a 3-second penalty. I think pushing too hard to try and catch up to Dynamo Dan, and unfortunately it's been costly indeed. Then Stephen Anthony is passed Smithy Almighty. Then goodness me, that's late on the brakes then into turn 3. Then can he hold on to the place then? Yes he can. Then oh dear, has Smithy gone into the back of the Ferrari there, of the Williams there I should say then. I think there was a bit of wind clipped off then, but it doesn't look like any damage then for Smithy. Hopefully he's alright then as well. But Smithy picked up a penalty as well, then that's going to be costly indeed then, because he could have gained a few places then with the penalties around him as well. Then Sirius Mushroom is trying to hang on then to Umabro as well. Then here comes Stephen Anthony now on his fresh medium compound tyres. We're on lap 27, my goodness me, I didn't even notice. We're on lap 27 of 29 then. Only 2 laps to go then at the end of this one. And we've been flying through it as well then, as Vintage has pitted himself. I wasn't going to say that. Thanks to Vintage as well, then, to get himself on the soft combat tires, going at it as well, then, and trying to keep himself in this race. And he's still on the lead lap as well, then, is Vintage, which is showing how quick the whole grid has been, to be fair, today. There's no lappage, then, in this race at all, then, as we go through, then, into lap 28, then, of 29, the penultimate lap of the first round of the season. Where are we? I can't even see what I'm doing, then, as Sam, then, trying to keep up with Mr. Elite, but Mr. Elite looks to be having that under control for the time being. Let's see what it's going to be like then on the final lap of the race. Then here comes Stephen Anthony, then all over the back of Mushroom, then heading through the first chicane, then, and now down towards turn 3. Then Dynamo Dan's picking up a 3-second motor as well. Then goodness me, then the penalty's out in front then, but I don't think there'll be any effect there. We've got a yellow flag for something. I think, was it Styles? It might have been Styles then coming out of the first couple of corners then, but he's got himself back in the way again quickly enough then. He's still in P10 then, on for a haul of points as well. Then I think it's 6 points for P10. Oh dear, I thought there was contact then for Stephen Anthony and into the wall then, but he's all right, which is great stuff to see. Then Sam then just clinging on then to the Alpine of Mr. Elite, then heading through into the chicane. Oh no, Sam's had an issue then, goodness me, then on the final lap, the penultimate lap I should say, then Sam's gone for a spin there, and that could be horrible stuff indeed for Sam. Then as we go through, then here comes you mad bro, and here he comes in. He's going to go past the McLaren as well then as we go through then into Sector 3. And here comes Serious Mushroom 2. Oh, it's going to get tight indeed. And Stephen Anthony has gone for the move, and he's got the move done. I think then, oh, here comes Mushroom then trying to switch back as we go into the penultimate quarter of the lap. And my goodness me, then that was going to get dicey. And there goes Smithy as well then. Sam then is staying out. Then you've got, I think he has to stay out, doesn't he? He has to try and get himself to the checkered flag on that, even with that damage as well. Then Stephen Anthony's gone through for P5 then. And of course, he has got a 10-second penalty there. As here comes Mushroom. Oh God, then that's going to get tight indeed. Then heading into turn 1 then as we go through then, as oh dear, Sam's bounced off the wall then as well. Then my goodness me, then it's not going the way for Sam then. Sam, I think, just letting the Mushroom go through. Oh God, into turn 3. Then Smithy then locking up the tires and going for a slide through turn 3 as well here. But Sam then is struggling on then. Strand, oh dear, Sam trying to get himself through this race then to the end of the race as well then. Oh my goodness me, and wow. Wow, indeed, I have to say it's, oh God, there's more contact. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. But well done indeed for Sam for keeping the car on the track, to be fair, because I don't think I would have even finished this race, even though I've only got 1 lap to go. So fair play indeed to Sam then for keeping on at it. We'll come back to that then, because we've got this man here then coming through the penultimate corner then into the final corner for lap 29. Here comes Dynamo Dan then, of course, a bridesmaid, well, not a bride last season. He has become a bride then with the first win of the season of Bronze Season 10. Fantastic stuff indeed from Dynamo Dan then and the Williams team, and they'll be very much very delighted with that one as well. Fantastic result then for Dynamo Dan, then crossing the line P1 then from P5 on the grid here in Australia as well. Then what a drive indeed. Rosa Sky then P2 then in the end as well. Then good result then from Rosa Sky. Unfortunately, I probably would have wanted more then with that pole position as well then. But P2 then is a good start to the season as well for Rosa Sky in his first full-time race as well then. Mr. Elite rounds off the podium places then for the Alpine team. What a result from Mr. Elite, I should say then. A brilliant drive then from Mr. Elite then this season as well then, or this race I should say then, and gets himself to the final podium place then here in Australia as well. Then Mushroom then for the Alpine team, a brilliant result then in P4 as well. Umabro P5 then. What a season for Kick Sauber and Alpine it looks like it's going to be as well here as we go through then into the final few corners then for Vintage as well. Then Sand in P6 then, Smith the Almighty in P7 then, Styles in P8 then, Stephen Anthony P9. Unfortunately that 10-second penalty was very costly indeed. It could have been potentially a P4 or P5 then for Stephen Anthony then, which just shows the form there as well then. But well done indeed then to get himself to the checkered flag. Get your last minute votes in for drive of the day as well then, guys. My vote didn't go through. Oh dear. I suppose it's ended. So your driver of the day was Mushroom, it looks like there as well then in the Alpine. Then a fantastic result there as well then. And sorry to Duncan then as well then for, says Mushroom then. Brabbit, check your Discord DMs then as well. And we've got please take points. I will take points on my first manual race as well then, says Jet Slayer. Coming out of pits, nowhere to go but take my line, says Serious Mushroom as well then. Oh dear, so Mushroom might be in trouble. So there we go then. There is your podium sitters then for the first race of the season then. So Dynamo Dan wins the Grand Prix, Rosa Sky in P2 then, and Mr. Elite in P3 as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed. And there we are then. We'll have a run through the classification quickly as well then. And there it is then as we go through the order. We've already chatted about the order then. Down to Stephen Anthony, then Marvsky then rounded off the top 10 as well then. So he got himself back in the points then as well. Then DeCanco P11, Goddard's P12, then Ballot in P13, Jake the Slayer P14. Real Ashton does get himself points on the board as well then in P15. Vintage and rounding off the finishers then as well. Then P16 for Vintage and Reflection, Liam D, Rocket Lee and and Winnie I should say then did not finish the Grand Prix unfortunately. Then 4 DNFs then in the first round for silver, then for bronze I should say, goodness me. But that is the first round of the season done and dusted here in Melbourne. Brilliant stuff indeed. Right then, we'll have a few interviews, I think, hopefully. Let's see if I can get it all up and running then. Yes, there we go. Good stuff indeed. We'll start off with our race winner then, Dynamo Dan. A fantastic race from your point of view then. Did you feel you had the pace to win that Grand Prix at the beginning?
Absolutely not. I had no confidence whatsoever going into that race. But I think the stars aligned and it just gave me a gap to go into, really.
Well, it was a fantastic result in the end then. Did you think that Rosa Sky at the end in that final stint was maybe going to be able to close in on you and take back the lead, or did you have it under control from that pit stop?
Yeah, I know he was coming back at me constantly, but I know he's a faster driver, but I think when the tyres wear out, I think he starts to lose time, and that's what happened on the hards, and that's how I caught him up. So I was just hoping on the mediums on the second stint that when they start to degrade, he'd start to lose some pace, which I think he did, and he got a penalty as well, but then so did I.
Yeah, and of course, the penalty didn't matter in the end then for either of you as well there. But a fantastic way to start off your season then. Do you think this might be a side of things to come for season 10 for bronze?
Yeah, I mean, like last season, I said I'll come for some big points, but I don't think it'll be the first spot every week. But I'll hopefully be up there.
Great stuff indeed, and congratulations then on the race victory as well then. For Dynamite Dan that is as well then. We'll go on to Rosa Sky as well then. Rosa, of course, your first full-time appearance of course this season, after a few reserve appearances last season then. A pole position then to start your start the season off as well. They're looking fantastic in the first stint as well then. What happened then for it to go wrong then in that race?
What to go wrong? I think Dan hit it pretty much nails on the head there. As soon as my tyres started wearing, I've not done enough practice on this game yet to understand the tyre wear, but yeah, I was slipping and sliding everywhere. So it was nice on fresh tyres, but yeah, as soon as there's a bit of wear, he's already found my weakness. So.
Oh dear. But we'll go back to the pole lap indeed in that case. We don't want to talk about the race, but a formidable pole lap indeed, and set yourself up for still a good result obviously in the Grand Prix. P2 is nothing to sniff at, I should know, because I can't finish more than P14. Yeah, you got yourself a fantastic result then to kick off your season. Then do you reckon you can rival Dynamo Dan? Of course, like you said, you've got a bit more time on the game, then a bit more understanding of the strategies, that sort of thing. Potentially you might be on for a championship this season.
I don't want to say. I don't know. I think the league's too close, especially in the race. I don't think so. I think I'll be similar. I'll try and get some points here and there, but I can't really. Yeah, unless I don't know. I hope so, but I'm very much a realistic person. I said to Dan yesterday, I'm hoping for a top 15. So.
Perfect. Then, if ever a driver who said he was going to win the championship on the first round of the season actually said that, I think that would probably not go well anyway. So yeah, I think that's probably best to sit on the fence, to be fair. But congratulations then anyway to Rosa Sky as well then for that P2 today in the Kick Sabre as well. Then fantastic race from yourself, sir. I'm not sure if Mr. Elite joined us, to be fair, but and I don't think he did. But congratulations as well then to Mr. Elite then in P3 for the Alpine team tonight as well. Then rounding off the podium, the first podium of the season for bronze. We'll be back in action then for the Suzuka Grand Prix, or Japan that is, for gold gold on Sunday, then of course silver on Monday, and of course bronze in a week's time in this bronze division, I should say, for Tuesday. And then of course on Wednesday next week, then we have got the 100% League returning. Then they'll be kicking off the season in Australia as well. Then so tune into that one a week from tomorrow. Then to see myself and Sean racing in the same grid. It will be terrifying, but there we go then. So tune in for that. Then we'll see you soon on ALR. Then thanks very much for joining us.